with Jack Fitzpatrick.
Struck him!
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
Downtown's the South Beach.
live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz The Bill, with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
To Wells. And what in the field. Chisholm to third. He's being waved. Eden coming home. Here's the throw. Inside. And the Yankees have the lead on Austin Wells' single. And the speed of Chisholm.
I know it's the trendy thing to do in baseball right now, but last night, and maybe I'm just a hater, I'll wear that with honor. Even with the win, I found myself questioning Aaron Boone. I get it's the trendy thing to do in baseball, but man, oh man, game one was even more so solidified as Aaron Boone being Aaron Boone. Like, you look at everything that happened in game one. Max Fried is cruising 6 1/3 strong. He's keeping the Red Sox in check, strikeouts, groundouts, doing everything he needs to do. He was starting to lose a little of zip, over 100 pitches, things of that sort. But he looked like, he got that first out in the seventh inning with ease, and it looked like he could muscle through the seventh. Instead, Boone, pulls him after that one quick out, yanks him right around 100 pitches, which was the plan coming into the game, hands the ball to Luke Weaver. Hindsight's 2020, but we all know how that went. The game blew up, and the Yankees lost game one, putting them into a do-or-die game two. Jazz Chisholm is reinserted in the starting lineup. We all crushed Aaron Boone for pulling Max Fried in game one. Something I don't think we crushed Aaron Boone enough about was benching Jazz Chisholm in game one, and that came to the forefront in game two with Jazz's performance. How do you bench an all-star in game one? An all-star who played 130 games, was your go-to second baseman, had a career-best .332 on-base percentage, a career-best 4.2 WAR this season. Basically, the guy you'd think Boone would want out there in a must-win game one and game two. What does he do in game two? He powers the Yankees to victory. Look, maybe it was because he took to video games after game one, and that's what helped him kind of find his aura in game two.
It's all about winning.
How did you get over that, though? Was it home last night, or what helped you get through that?
I played MLB The Show, and I mercy rule someone. That's how I get my stress off.
I relate to that, Jazz. I get that. You got to mercy rule some people in MLB The Show, and sometimes that gets you back in to the zone. And that must have really helped, because in high leverage moments last night, Jazz Chisholm was at his best. In the seventh inning, a fantastic run-saving defensive gem, a ball that could have gone past him, probably easily could have gone past him, and it would have scored a run, maybe two, but he had a fantastic play, diving to his right, keeping it in the infield, and saving a run. Now, it did leave the bases loaded, but then the pitcher got the very next batter out to fly out deep to center field, and it stayed a 3-3 game. Then in the bottom of the eighth, he showed off his wheels, scoring from first on an Austin Wells single, and that ended up being the game-winning run, 4-3. It took Jazz Chisholm 9.16 seconds to run from first to home on that Austin Wells single. That is the third fastest time a player has gone from first to home in the postseason in the StatCast era. An insane performance from Jazz Chisholm in the high leverage moments last night. And to think, Aaron Boone thought his presence would hurt their chances in game one because Garrett Crochet, a lefty, was on the mound. That's like saying, hey, you know what? I've got this Ferrari, but I don't want to drive it in the sprinkling rain. Even Aaron Judge had to laugh. He praised Chisholm's game-changing performance and his maturity for shaking off the benching. And this is Aaron Boone in a nutshell, right? The old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think Aaron Boone lives by the saying, if it ain't broke, I better fix it because it's not broken and I gotta break it. His tinkering, his overthinking cost the Yankees game one, forced him into a do-or-die game two. Luckily, if you're a Yankees fan, they squeaked out a 4-3 win. Carlos Rodon gave them 6 solid innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks. The bullpen was spotless over the final 3. The defense turned 3 double plays, 2 featuring none other than Jazz Chisholm. The bats woke up, 10 hits, a homer, 4 walks, And now we go to a win or go home game 3 tonight in the Bronx. First pitch at 8 p.m. And it's not just Yankees, Red Sox. We got the Tigers, Guardians, Padres, Cubs. They're also set for elimination showdowns. And the only team chilling right now, the Dodgers, who did what they needed to do against the Cincinnati Reds. They celebrated with some champagne in the locker room afterwards. And folks, October baseball is here, and we've got 3 win or go home games tonight. And Aaron Boone, he's doing his best to make sure Yankees fans don't relax for even a second. You could feel the worry inside of Yankee Stadium last night, and it was all because Aaron Boone and his over-tinkering has managed to make things very stressful for Yankees fans. How do you bench Jazz Chisholm in game 1 and then have him have that type of game in game 2? You are just overthinking things, man.
Yeah, I understand why he may have played the numbers there with Jazz, and Ben Rice is also the other guy that was left out the lineup.
Two of their better bats.
Yeah, I can understand why he might have tinkered with it game 1, but I wouldn't have left them completely out of it. Jazz would have played for me personally because he's a versatile defender, and what you lose potentially in a couple percentages of at the plate, you're going to gain on base running, which he showed last night, and just his defensive athleticism.
And his clutchness. And that's not something you can really gauge or quantify, but I mean, he's clutch.
Yeah, he's been good at home games for them for sure. Good enough that you would give him a look at least. Ben Rice caught for Fried probably like a week ago or something like that. So it wouldn't have been it was familiarity there. I don't understand. I compared Aaron Boone last night to the Kanye West of managers, man. You don't know what he's gonna do. It's definitely nervy. It was nervy listening to the broadcast. I consume my baseball through the radio broadcast, so it was nervy the entire time. They were not comfortable.
No, you could feel it. Like they would do crowd shots, and the crowd was always just like, "How is Aaron Boone gonna mess this up?"
Yeah, and when he came out to talk to the pitcher the first time, I think everybody was like, you better not take him out.
Well, it's just so funny. Like what he did in game 1, you pull Max Fried probably a little earlier. Then in game 2, you let Carlos Rodon go a little bit. Then each reliever gets one full inning and they do what they need to do. It was shaky at times for some of the relievers. He doesn't pull them, and look what they do. Yeah. They get out of the jam.
Rodon's he's more of a fiery guy too. I would feel like if you took him out like you took Fried out, there would be a conversation in the clubhouse or in the dugout, similar to some of the things we've seen from some of our more fiery pitchers. But the base running, I know it's nitpicky, and Bob would probably love this, but the science of base running was so perfect by Jazz and his base coach last night that I can truly say, if you look back at that replay, if he makes one false step, if there's one slight hesitation, if he's not off at the crack of the bat, reading that ball properly, he's out at home.
So lucky that was a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs.
Yeah, he's out at home. If one false step, one outside bag being touched instead of the inside of the bag being touched, he's out. It was a very close play at home that honestly, like I said, had to be perfect for him, and it was. And that's the beauty of playoff baseball, man. If it's, sometimes it really does come down to the centimeters and false steps and things like that.
If that tag is applied, Red Sox might be the ones winning this game, and they may be with the Dodgers already punching their tickets to the divisional series. Instead, they've got to play again tonight at 8 p.m. And I mean, it's just so funny how when Aaron Boone does something right, which is start Jazz Chisholm and make the right decisions with the bullpen, he's still wrong. Because now you can go back to his game 1 decisions even more so and nitpick those decisions even more.
Yeah, no, you can make an argument that they honestly shouldn't be here.
No, they should.
They should have been just like the Dodgers. And that's not disrespecting the Red Sox, but like I think the Yankees beat themselves in game 1.
You could even argue that they shouldn't even be in the wild card, and they should have been like the Blue Jays and just won the AL East.
That too.
Like there's so much to it where you're just like, they kind of messed themselves up because of Aaron Boone's over tinkering throughout the regular season too, cost them a game here, a game there. And then at the end of the day, they're playing now in a wild card series where his over tinkering makes them go to a do or die game 2, which forces a winner go home game 3.
Now in the same breath, I have no problem with Cora being aggressive like he was last night because they were playing with house money. And if you can put pressure on the Yankees pitching, and again from the dugout, I think from the mental aspect, you win that game.
Yes.
Because again, like hat for hat, they're probably not better than the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. But
they're probably not better than the Yankees in Boston.
Yeah, but getting the opportunity to burn through your bullpen in that game last night, I think it was worth the risk for him. So I don't want people to think we're just being biased against the Yankees. I think the Red Sox were afforded the opportunity to tinker in game 2 because they snuck game 1.
Yes, and now they'll have Conley early going tonight against Schlitter. Got to be careful not to say that name wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's an L in there that I almost completely Schlitter, whatever his. I can't. There's too many long lines there. He's going tonight for the Yankees. Let's update you with some other things that happened last night in the world of MLB, NBA, NFL, college, all of it. Let's update you with the sports update.
This is your Fitz The Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, so last night, one ticket was punched to the National League Divisional Series. The Dodgers down the Reds 8-4 behind a career-long outing for Yamamoto of the Dodgers. He threw 114 pitches, the most in his MLB career, going 6 2/3, allowing just 4 hits, no earned runs, and he struck out 9. The Dodgers and Phillies face off next in the NLDS. The Guardians down the Tigers in Game 2 to force a Game 3. The Guardians started JMU standout Chase DeLauder in center field. He did begin the game with a fielding error, but worked back, making a fantastic defensive play from center field. He went 0 for 2 at the dish, did get on base once by way of walk in his MLB debut, becoming just the 6th player in MLB history to debut in the postseason, 2nd JMU player to play in the MLB postseason as well. In that game, the Tigers stranded 15 base runners, the most in Detroit's playoff history. The Padres got a home run from Manny Machado to power them to a 3-0 win over the Cubs to force a Game 3. Yankees, of course, got that 4-3 win as well over the Red Sox to force a Game 3. Games begin today. Detroit and Cleveland, 3 p.m. Jack Flaherty goes up against Slade Cecconi. Padres and Cubs, 5 p.m. first pitch. Yu Darvish going for San Diego. Jameson Taillon going for the Chicago Cubs. And the Red Sox and Yankees start at 8 p.m. Conley early going for Boston. Cam Schlitter starting for the Yankees. Also in MLB, the Braves announced yesterday that manager Brian Snitker will not return as the team manager. Snitker helped lead the team to the 2021 World Series, and he will move to an advisory role and will be inducted into the team's Hall of Fame next year. Ahead of tonight's Thursday night football game, the 49ers have ruled out quarterback Brock Purdy, wide receivers Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, as well as Jordan Watkins. George Kittle also still out. Brandon Ayuk out as well. The Rams are 8.5-point favorites against the Mac Jones-led 49ers. Former Dolphins star corner and current Colts corner Xavier Howard retired abruptly yesterday. In a post to Instagram, he said, quote, "My dream has now changed. He's no longer willing to put football before his family. My purpose has been fulfilled," he said, "but my kids are more important to me than football. I've had a heck of a career, and even though it's ending in a unique way, I'm cool with that because for once I'm putting my family first, and I'm proud and excited about that decision." A.J. Brown spoke with the media yesterday about his cryptic Twitter posts. He said he let his frustrations boil over and that his posts weren't directed at anyone inside the building, including Jalen Hurts. The Commanders announced that Jaden Daniels will start Sunday against the Chargers. The Browns bench Joe Flacco. They'll start Dylan Gabriel. Flacco becomes QB2, meaning Shedeur Sanders is still QB3 on the depth chart. Shedeur Sanders went full mime yesterday when asked about that decision. He was asked multiple questions, answered each by mouthing his answers and not speaking. And last but certainly not least, in college football, sources tell Pete Thamel and Dan Wetzel that the Big Ten is discussing $2 billion in a private capital deal. The Big Ten in discussions about that private capital deal that would bring them at least $2 billion. The discussions include a 10-year extension of the league's grant of rights, moving it until 2046, and it would ensure long-term stability in the Big Ten. Vote and decision is expected in the coming weeks. All right, we've got a great show coming up today. No guests, just your calls, your texts. Be part of the program, 804-327-0888. You can also watch the show live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can be part of the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing wherever you are listening. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we've got something to give away. You don't want to miss it. Stay locked right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
The 7th Annual River City Tennis Open was created to support local charities benefiting local youth organizations in RVA, October 3rd through 5th at UR Tennis Facility. Online at rivercitytennisopen.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-454-4558. That's 800-454-4558. 800-454-4558.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
We're more than a station. We're a sports community. Braves, Spiders, NFL, NBA, MLB, NASCAR, talk shows, big games, local heroes. 106.1 ESPN Richmond. It's where Richmond talks sports. Want your brand in the mix? Advertise with us today. Call 804-330-5700 or email espnrva@summitmediacorp.com.
106.1 ESPN traffic.
Expect merging delays heading north on 195 between Cary Street and Bryant Park Interchange. We are seeing some backup on Ashland Road, both north and southbound between 64 and Lanier. We are seeing a bit of touch and go heading south on 95 between Bryant Park Interchange and Belvedere Street. And beware of a crash on Canal Street near South 10th Street.
He's the voice of the Richmond Spiders and your companion for the drive home, Bob Black. Weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Sports Huddle. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Richmond, get ready because the Green Top Outdoor Expo is back this weekend. Best part, it's absolutely free to attend. 2 full days of the ultimate outdoor experience on October 4th and 5th. That's this Saturday and Sunday. There will be things to do for the entire family. Kids Zone with a scavenger hunt, the ultimate air dogs, plus, of course, the famous truckload sale. There will be something for anyone and everyone. Whether you're into hunting, fishing, boating, or just love the outdoors, there's something for you at the Green Top Outdoor Expo this Saturday and Sunday. And here's your chance to make it even better. The phone lines are open. Be the third caller today at 804-327-0888, and you'll win a pair of VIP tent tickets for Sunday. That means shade, seating, exclusive access, an elevated way to take in the Green Top Outdoor Expo. The event itself is free, so head on up to Ashland, head on up to Green Top this weekend, and check out their Outdoor Expo. But if you want that elevated Green Top Outdoor Expo experience, be the third caller at 804-327-0888, and you'll win a pair of VIP tickets for Sunday. And if you miss out on today, don't worry. Tomorrow, we will be live out there at Green Top, and we'll be giving away 2 pairs, one in the 8 a.m. hour, another pair in the 9 a.m. hour, and that will be your last chance to win these exclusive VIP tickets for Sunday at the Green Top Outdoor Expo. So this Saturday and Sunday up at Green Top in Ashland, bring the family, bring your friends, and remember, it is completely free to get in. Don't miss Virginia's premier outdoor event. the Green Top Outdoor Expo. Congratulations to Kobe, who won it on Tuesday. Congratulations to Andrew, who won it yesterday. Will you be lucky caller number 3 today and win it on this Thursday? 804-327-0888. We've also, we don't have any other giveaways today. I was about to say we have another giveaway, but we don't have any other giveaways. Just a pair of VIP tickets for Sunday, and then we'll be giving away 2 pairs tomorrow. So keep it locked between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., and that will get you hooked up with another chance to win, because I think I see Alan on the phone. We may have a winner for today's giveaway. So you've got one more chance, technically 2 more chances tomorrow. Be sure to tune in. We'll do it between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. and then another giveaway between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And you do not want to miss that. All right. This weekend, this Sunday, we get what we've all been waiting for, the return of Jaden Daniels. Following his MCL sprain that kept him out the last 2 weeks, it was a Las Vegas Raiders win for the Commanders. Then a tough Atlanta Falcons loss down there in the ATL with Marcus Mariota. The team is now going to LA for a Sunday showdown against the Justin Herbert-led Chargers at 2-2. The team went 1-1 with Jaden Daniels through the first 2 weeks, the 21-6 win against the Giants in week 1, and then the Thursday night setback to the Packers up in Green Bay. He suffered the MCL sprain in that game, and then they went 1-1 without Jaden. They found a rhythm offensively against the Raiders. They were absolutely dominant offensively against the Raiders. Their offense wasn't really all that bad against the Atlanta Falcons. Their defense just let them down there in the ATL, because without Jaden Daniels, the Commanders have found some sort of offensive consistency and offensive rhythm, something they didn't totally have under Jaden Daniels through the first 2 weeks. They were 15th in the NFL in success rate. However, they were number 1 in the NFL in rush EPA, so they were extremely efficient running the football. They just didn't do it all that much with Jaden Daniels in the first 2 weeks, specifically that Green Bay game. They gave the ball to Jaden and they said, try to win this game for us. Cliff Kingsbury was not deep in his bag of tricks in that Green Bay game. But I think over these last 2 games, having to call plays with Marcus Mariota, it got Cliff back into some sort of rhythm, because the offense was much better without Jaden Daniels. And I'm not saying it was better because it was without Jaden Daniels. I'm saying I think Cliff Kingsbury realized where his bread is buttered and kept going back to that. And it allowed them to have success in terms of dropbacks, and it gave them some success in terms of rushing the football. And that, I think, is huge, because the issue the first 2 weeks with Jaden was Cliff leaning on him to be Superman, which is an unsustainable way to live. If he could find the play calling rhythm that he had in that Raiders game, this Commanders team can be pretty scary. This Commanders team might be very scary. So they get Jaden back for this weekend's game against the Los Angeles Chargers, where though the defense will be heavily tested against Justin Herbert, and this surprisingly potent, this surprisingly pass-heavy Los Angeles Chargers team that has gotten a ton of production from Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, and Ladd McConkey's their wide receiver 3.
Sorry, my head's looking like Shador Sanders there.
Yeah, you're miming over there.
No, I don't know what I got on my head. I'm trying not to, obviously do my raising hell thing for your Commander segment, but there are some concerns that Cliff is just not confident enough in the personnel. That's why the game seems to sometimes get away from them with the way he calls. I actually plan on watching all 22s today to look at how they played against the Falcons, because to me, this team needs to commit to being a team that runs the ball at least 40-45 times a game. And it doesn't have to be Jaden Daniels. Sprinkle him in there, but you got 3 running backs.
You don't want it to be Jaden too much.
You got 3 running backs that give 3 different looks, but it's clear as day to me that Krosky Merritt needs more touches. Rodriguez should get more touches, and you can use McNichols how you want to use them as well. It's not sexy. It's not what you would expect from Cliff Kingsbury. But I've seen, and we've seen him use like jumbo sets and things like that. So obviously he's got an idea that I need to ground and pound more with the run game, but I just don't know why he's not committed to it. And losing McLaurin for an extended period of time because we still don't know how long he's out, right?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
he's getting second opinions. And as I have said on this show, when you're starting to get second and third opinions, that's typically not a good
And
sign.
they picked up our guy, Mr. Chosen.
Did they pick up Chosen Anderson?
For the practice squad.
/ Robbie Anderson
Yeah,
/
for the practice squad.
Robbie Chosen. Man, he has had so many names.
No.
we gave Chad Ochocinco a tough time. At least he only had 2 names, Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco. Our man Robbie Anderson has been Robbie Chosen Anderson, and Robbie Anderson.
Yeah,
that's too many.
So I'm like, man, just commit to just being a power team, a power run team on offense. Control the clock, be efficient, and then go from there. Because when you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or any quarterback that's a legitimate running threat, again, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense anyway.
Yes.
So technically, as an offensive coordinator, your job should be a little bit easier than if you had a statue back there like a Stafford or something like that.
And it is interesting because the running game was extremely efficient for Washington through the first 2 weeks when Jaden Daniels was back there. They ranked 4th in the NFL in EPA per rush. The thing was, a lot of that came from the Giants game because against the Packers, they just didn't really rely on the run all that much. They had Jaden drop back to pass and throw it 42 times, and that's just not where you're going to find the success. It seemed that Cliff found a little bit more of that balance through the 2 weeks without Jaden Daniels. However, that ATL game was just so difficult because Atlanta had the ball for 34 minutes. Washington had the ball for 25-45. So they just didn't have as much time to kind of get their offense into a rhythm. And that resulted in only 27 pass attempts, 22 rush attempts. You'd like to see that skew more towards the rushing, where Chris Rodriguez only had 7 carries. Bill Krosky-Merritt only had 7 carries. And I think that just boiled down to the fact they didn't have the ball for all that long. They weren't able to run a lot of plays.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about this last week, Jordan and I had brought up a fun fact, actually.
Ooh, I love fun facts.
In the Giants game and the Raiders game, I believe they were around about 64, 65 total plays. And I think that's their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But the Packers slowed them down a little bit. I don't think they got up to 60 plays against the Packers, and it obviously looked bad. If the Falcons also had them under 60 plays and it kind of looked bad, I think there might be a little bit of a trend there for them to reconsider or focus on some of that so they can get the ball more, get their plays off a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I mean, against the Packers, they had 42 pass attempts, 19 rush attempts, so 61 total plays,
Yeah.
But that feels a little skewed because a lot of those pass attempts came later on in the game. But yeah, the Falcons-Commanders game, they only had 49 total plays?
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a game plan by the Falcons, though.
I think I also think it was sometimes your best defense is a good offense.
I've been saying that for a long time.
I know, and it's a cliche with it, but the defense couldn't get off the field against Atlanta, and the offense couldn't sustain drives against Atlanta, which both of those things then result in your offense never finding a rhythm, and you're just like, all right, well, we're kind of SOL.
But I will say the biggest thing for me for the Commanders, the biggest difference this year in this team is that this defense hasn't given them any turnovers. Last year, they had a lot of timely turnovers, especially in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
You could depend on some kind of a fumble or some kind of an interception.
They have one interception this year.
Yeah. Even in the playoffs, they did it to Jared Goff and them. They got fumbles and touchdowns off of that. They need those guys to start making plays. It's one thing to make tackles and get stops, but it's such a momentum builder and such a big boost for a team when you can get turnovers and get shorter field position, change the score around. A score that should have been 7 here is actually 7 the other way type stuff. I think they need to find that as well on their defense.
Yeah, the defense I think is the biggest key to this because through 8 quarters of Jaden Daniels and 8 quarters of Marcus Mariota, I'm not ready to say that the offense is an issue by any means. They put up 27 points. That was a good showing. Without Jaden, they're 4th in the NFL in EPA per play. They were one of the best teams in the National Football League in having an efficient passing attack without Jaden Daniels. And that was with Marcus Mariota. With Jaden, they were the best. They were the most efficient, I should say, the most efficient rushing attack in the NFL. I think Cliff Kingsbury can find that middle ground between those two types of offensive game plans between the first 8 quarters of the season and the second 8 quarters of the season. It's the defense that is going to make or break this team. They have just not been good to start the year. They've been one of the, You thought that this defense would take the necessary step forward in the offseason, but that's just not the case. And I think it falls back on the secondary.
I think it falls on the defensive line. I think if the defensive line plays better in the games that they have played better, the secondary has looked good.
This is always the chicken or the egg conversation.
Yeah,
and it depends on which side you fall, but it's always funny. Is the secondary bad because the defensive line's not getting there in time, or is the defensive line bad because the secondary can't guard?
And my logic is that the name of the game when you're talking defense is getting to the quarterback. We don't ever hear defenses say we've got to stop them by covering. No, we got to stop them by getting pressure, getting sacks, things like that, force the ball out of his hands. So everything starts up front for me. And they've had games where they've had an advantage on the defensive line. They've done well. This past game was not one of those games. Again, very, very stout between their center and guards for the Falcons. So not a lot of push on the interior defensive line. And I think Kinlaw and Payne are the two biggest factors for this defense as well. And the guys on the inside kind of make it easier for the guys on the edge.
Yeah.
And the games where they've had the advantage in the Giants and the Raiders, they've looked phenomenal, right? We didn't really say anything about the secondary in those games. But that's because the defensive line played well. When they can't get the necessary pressure, they get exposed at a high clip. Lattimore gets exposed at a very high clip if there's not a lot of pressure. And it's almost cliche to say as well, but look at the Cowboys. That's really the difference. We thought Diggs was an all-pro. He's not an all-pro when you don't have anybody that can get pressure on the quarterback.
Yes.
He's very below average.
Yes.
So Lattimore probably could return to all-pro level if we find Cam Jordan or a Cam Jordan to get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's truly what's missing for the Commanders. And then the catch-22 to that is, if we're not getting enough pressure, then do we send extra bodies? Because if we send extra bodies, then schematically, we're probably going to have to play more man, or we're going to have to play zones where we don't have the athletes to cover the necessary space with the player missing. So I'm trying to give Witt and these guys a little bit of a pass because it is more difficult than how we make it when we talk about it.
Yeah.
But this is what you're paid the big bucks for. Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. And you're kind of right, though, because as you're doing that, I was also looking at the times to throw that opponents have had against this Washington defense. I think you're right. The defensive line's the issue.
Oh, the eye test always never fails.
These are the times to throw over the first 4 weeks of the season. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Russell Wilson had 2.72 seconds time to throw, which is a lot.
Yeah.
3.1 in week 2 for Jordan Love. 3.1. That's an eternity back there.
3 seconds too long.
3.53 for Geno Smith. And I know that was a win and it was a blowout, but still, 3.53 is not good. That is horrible. And 2.7 for Michael Penix. You just are not able to you aren't able to generate any pressure. And because of that, your secondary is being tested. And oh, by the way, Marshawn Lattimore is looking every part of his age and his hamstrings are looking a little rough. He looks bad. It is just a tough spot for this defense. They've got to figure it out. And you're right. That's what Joe Witt Jr. is paid the big bucks for. And Dan Quinn, you are a defensive coordinator. That is where you cut your teeth. You won a Super Bowl with Seattle. You've made Dallas into one of the best defenses for multiple years while you were down there. You've got to help him out and try to figure something out. Make a defensive game plan that caters to your guys. There's no reason Bobby Wagner should be out in coverage as much as he was against the ATL.
Yeah, you don't want Bobby Wagner on a guy like Bijan either. You also, you could simplify it to say, hey, let's just move the guys off their spots, because when I listen to the quarterbacks you're talking about, having watched the Geno game, he was under pressure, but he was off his spots, right? So he was buying himself time.
So push him off his spot.
Penix was not off his spot at all because, he's got a wall directly in front of him with the guard and the centers. They're really good. So the 2.7 for him that's his comfort zone, right? He's not off his spot. Russell, same thing. He's buying a little bit of time with how he moves in the pocket. And Jordan Love, he's the rare quarterback. You get him off his spot, he's still probably going to make the throw. But at the end of the day, pressure in his face helps. That's how the Browns beat him.
Yeah, and they just weren't able to generate any.
Herbert, I hate to say it, pressure in his face probably won't work. You're going to have to cover in this game.
I said it earlier this week. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL under pressure. So good luck.
He's got a heavy baseball background, and you watch him throw on the run and his arm angles, you can see where he's developed that improvisation that comes with guys who are baseball minded people.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes had the baseball background.
Russell Wilson,
Kyler Murray, like the arm angles when they're running and stuff like that. They just have better imaginations on how to get the ball to their receivers. And Justin Herbert's got phenomenal arm talent.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a difficult task
no
matter what.
I've been part of the Herbert hive for a while now.
I'm not as high on Herbert as everybody else, but I will give him credit for the talent that he has.
We got a text. It just boils down to the fact that the Commanders are overrated. They've beaten the Giants and the Raiders. Couldn't beat the Falcons, who got smoked by Carolina. The offense was stagnant before Daniels got hurt. The hype has to stop for them. They had their lucky run last year, but they're an average team.
It just boils down to the Packers being overrated. They beat the Commanders, but they couldn't beat the lowly Browns, and then they turn around and tie to the awful Cowboys. I swear. Like, we can't go game by game, man. It doesn't work that way in the league.
will say, if things start to not get better, specifically on the defensive side, I would agree with this texter, though, that, like, the defense does have to take a step forward. I think the Commanders right now are teetering on being an overrated team. Like, we have this thought of them, and I'm included. I had them in my NFC Championship game. I'm included in this. We had this thought that NFC Championship last year, there was a lot of data that suggested they would regress to the mean. And so far to start the season, they have done that. They haven't forced turnovers. Their pressure isn't there. Their secondary is getting burned. But their offense is still very good. Like, because of the defensive woes, we've kind of overlooked the fact that this Commanders offense has been a solid unit this season. 21 points against the Giants. The Micah Parsons defense of the Packers is the only defense that has slowed them down, holding them to 18. Put up 41 against the Raiders, put up 27 against the Falcons. This is an offense that should be 3-1 right now. The defense has let them down. So if the defense doesn't figure their stuff out, they will be an average team. They'll be a playoff average team.
So my pushback for them being labeled overrated is that collectively between pundits and Vegas, they had them regressing. They had them at 9 wins basically this season. So if they fall at 9 and 8, I don't think that's overrated at all. I mean, the struggles that they've had this season would be what you would expect from a team that you're projecting to have about 9 wins.
But pundits did have a lot of pundits, myself included,
I think it's in our market. We were more optimistic.
The national media had Washington a lot in NFC Championship games.
Maybe it's my algorithm now. I've seen a lot of people saying they were going to be 9 at best.
So I think they are slightly overrated, not extremely overrated. They're like the Packers of the last couple of years, where they're a trendy pick in the preseason. And if they do finish 9 and 8, I think that's a disappointment, but I don't think it is like a horrible thing. But it is a disappointment if they finish 9 and 8. You got to get double-digit wins, make the playoffs, but it's all going to come down to their defense. How do they address the defense? How do they make it better? Because if they're not able to improve that defense, and if they keep getting got like they did against the Atlanta Falcons, then it's going to be a tough season for Jaden Daniels and his offensive company. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside. We've got news or snooze coming up on the other side of the break. It's a mixed bag. Don't worry, Alan. It is a mixed bag this Thursday. Wow. All right, stay with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-454-4558. That's 800-454-4558. 800-454-4558.
World Class Courts is proud to be a featured sponsor of the 2025 River City Tennis Open, October 3rd to 5th at the University of Richmond West Hampton Courts. We specialize in providing everything you need for any type of tennis court, whether it's clay, hard, or hybrid surfaces. As a manufacturer and supplier, World Class Courts offers surfaces and equipment for every kind of tennis court. We invite you to come and see our recent resurfacing work at the University of Richmond. For more information, visit us online at worldclasscourts.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is my issue with Kyler. This guy has never been great. Why are we not as critical of this player as we are those that would be deemed his peers that have not necessarily lived up to the hype? This young man is good, but that's as much as you can go with him. I couldn't envision a scenario where he leads a team to an NFC championship game. Forget a Super Bowl.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 52 degrees and sunny with a high today of 71 and a low of 50. We're expecting clear and sunny skies for the rest of the morning, with clouds rolling in around 1 p.m. Partly cloudy skies into the rest of the afternoon and evening. And we're feeling a northern breeze averaging at about 5 miles per hour with gusts up to 12 miles per hour.
Wake up with Fitz The Bill. Hosted by Jack Fitzpatrick, weekdays from 8 to 10 a.m. Analysis and local sports coverage you can trust right here on 106.1, where Richmond talks sports, news, or snooze.
News or snooze this morning. Up first, Xavier Howard abruptly retires.
Snooze worthy.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
Why? Why do you think
it's the second Colts player to randomly retire in the middle of a season?
All right, that's true. Who was the other one?
It was Vontae Davis, wasn't it?
Davis,
yeah. Rest in peace.
Just retired in the middle of everything.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I didn't know what had happened. Obviously, when I checked my alerts and stuff from overnight,
yeah.
But I saw a meme with Cooper Kupp, and he had a body bag, and then it had his stats.
Well. Yeah.
And now it makes sense. It makes sense. I didn't get it at first.
He was targeted 10 times on Sunday, allowed 7 catches, 112 yards against him, averaged 16 yards per reception. Statistically, his worst game of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, Puka Nacua. Same concept. But yeah. Puka Nacua, he's doing that to probably 97% of the league, especially in that system. He's hard. Have you ever watched him pre-snap and stuff?
Yeah, Puka Nacua is one of the best, if not like the best receiver now in the NFL.
It's just like Steph Curry coming off of screens and how like people have to chase him all the way around the court before he finally gets the ball. You're running. I think there was one game last year when Cooper Kupp was there. He ran a total of 3 miles worth of running during the game and got targeted like twice.
He's out there doing wind sprints. Yeah. He's out there just doing his cardio for
Imagine
the day.
You're covering this guy.
But I get why Xavier Howard retired. He didn't play last year. He kind of de facto retired last year. Then they got him out of quote unquote retirement. So he didn't play in 24. And this is by far his worst season. Like it's not particularly close.
Don't you retire on Indiana Jones? We're on this bandwagon, man.
He retired right after their first loss. You got to wonder if they had won the game, does he retire?
It's a conspiracy. They're out to undermine my guy.
It is, but like I saw that and I was like, oh, just retiring in the middle of the season. Good for him, I guess. He wants to spend time with his family. I do love, and I'm not trying to be too rude here, but I do love how he's like, I'm putting my family first. Brother, you couldn't put your family first 3 months ago?
No,
before training camp started.
I could imagine being this kid and you got to go to school after your dad just got roasted like that. Put me first.
Yeah, put me first.
I appreciate you.
Dad. All right, Dad. All right, thanks, man. You couldn't have you couldn't just have waited another 3 months and then you would have been done with it. Then you could have retired then. Like, that's the other funny thing. He's been playing in the NFL since 2016. And he goes, now I'm going to retire, putting my family first. You couldn't 3 months ago when you came out of retirement. Then you couldn't wait 3 more months, get a couple more game checks, and then just retire at the end of the season. You're like, right now, I have to put my family first. Right now, following my worst game of my career. Right now.
Yeah, it's after the embarrassment, for sure.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right, number 2. Dynasty's over for bigger SEC with non-league games, Kiffin says.
Snoozeworthy.
We need a laugh button, though.
He also said that, like, with NIL and everything, that we'll no longer see dynasties in the SEC. Similar to that of, what we saw with Alabama and things of that sort. Which, I mean, I don't agree. We hear this a lot, whether it's SEC, Big Ten, whatever it is. Like, you hear it a lot. Gone are the days of the one dominant team. We'll never see that type of run again. No, we will. We will.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to disagree with them there, man.
We will. Someone will get a huge donor, and we will start to see, maybe not in the next 3 years, we might not see a dynasty, but like eventually we'll figure out the rules, and there will be teams that learn how to kind of skirt around the rules, and they will create dynasties.
Yeah, hear me
They're
out.
not done.
Maybe there's just no coach that can coach well enough to have a dynasty.
Hey, you said it.
I'm just saying, as far as like the programs and stuff, the top programs are still the top programs. Like when I look at the SEC, I still see Georgia at the top. I mean, Texas just came in, but if Texas was in the Big 12, I would still see Texas
At
near
the
the top.
top.
Yeah.
And
like
it's not-
LSU near the top. Like the teams are all, that hasn't changed a lot. Vandy being competitive has changed, but Vandy's just being competitive. They're not winning the SEC. Like Ohio State is still cream of the crop. Penn State still cream of the crop. Oregon still cream of the crop.
Yeah, the big names are still the cream.
The
They're still
issue is it's not Nick Saban. It's not Urban Meyer and those guys. Like I think now we see, oh snap, maybe coaching does matter a little bit more than we thought.
Exactly. Like the blue bloods are still there, but James Franklin can't get over the hump. Ryan Day can't beat Michigan. Dan Lanning can't consistently win in the college. He gets punched in the mouth. He doesn't know how to respond. Kirby Smart can't beat Alabama. Kalen DeBoer can't win against bad teams. Like there are just a lot of now questions around the coaches where, I think the brands are still there. It takes a elite level coach to then turn the brand into a dynasty. And we just don't have a coach that does that.
Yeah.
Whenever we get the next Nick Saban maybe it's Kurt Signetti in Indiana.
Number 3, Cubs defend decision.
Sorry, no, not Kurt Signetti at Indiana. When he gets hired away to Alabama,
that's why I was confused. I was like, did you just say Indiana
or Georgia or whatever team that hires him away this offseason?
He's definitely SEC bound if somebody calls. I just don't think it'll be Florida.
Florida? Oh.
I just don't think it'll be Florida because of his roots in Alabama.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those guys still kind of care about that stuff.
Yeah, he also couldn't go to Florida because he has the Alabama ties, but then he's also born and raised in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel Florida-y.
Yeah.
Like it feels like hard nosed, like it could fit in Alabama. Before you go to number 3,
yes.
I tweeted out when the Board of Visitors approved the Virginia Tech stuff. I just quoted it and I said, and just like that, Virginia Tech's the best opening, the best current opening on the market. And some Florida fan found it. And I was like, how did you find this tweet?
Oh,
and then goes,
it's the internet.
And they go, you misspelled Florida. And I was like, sir, I'm talking current job openings. And he goes, yeah, Billy Napier, best kept secret. He's fired. And I'm like, you're insane. Like, I don't disagree. He probably is, but geez, Louise, he's not even gone.
Speaking into existence, Florida.
Man.
Trust me, I understand wholeheartedly.
God,
Speak that into existence.
It was so funny. I was like, man, they really hate him.
They should too.
You know what his Twitter name was?
Bad. What?
# fire Billy Napier. I was like, wow.
Gotta get it done.
The hate runs so deep that you're finding some random guy on Twitter talking about Virginia Tech to bring up your Florida hate.
Look, if I dedicate my time to that program like Florida fans have, I mean, there's not much else going on in Gainesville.
Hey, that's true.
Get them out of there.
That's true.
Number 3, Cubs defend decision to have Shota Imanaga. Did I say that right?
Sure.
Face Manny Machado.
Something I've learned this baseball postseason.
Shota-san.
These names, these are pitcher names. Schlitter, some of them are tough, man.
Yeah, no, there's actually an article in the New York Times about his name and how that could potentially get their broadcast in trouble. They had a laugh about it. It went viral and everything. I didn't say it during the segment, but I was laughing that you also made the same gag.
It was very close. It was very close. This is newsworthy.
No.
Yes.
Why does it play it every time?
Because this is another opportunity to throw some dirt on Aaron Boone. Craig Counsell, the manager of the Cubs, made the right decision in leaving Amanga out there to face Manny Machado because Craig Counsell said he trusts his players. He said just confidence in Shota. Plain and simple there. I thought he was pitching well. I thought he was throwing the ball really well. And unfortunately, he made a mistake. It was a splitter that was kind of, I think it was a little low in a way that Manny Machado was able to turn on and extended the Padres lead to 3-0, and that ended up being the final score. But Imanga had been pitching fairly well throughout that game, and Machado was 0-6 in the series up to that point. And so, I mean, I like Craig Counsell sticking with his guys, trusting his players. In this scenario, it may have lost you the game, but in game 3, it very well could win you the game. So I'm a fan of defending the decision, portraying your confidence in your pitcher. I like that. It's something Aaron Boone could never do.
Yeah, so for the folks not familiar, Shota has been a bona fide ace for the Cubs since he's come in the last 2 years. There's nobody I would trust more in that situation to pitch to Manny Machado than him. He's earned that right in his 2 years there to go out and face Manny Machado in that situation.
Who was also 0-6 in the series.
And as a card-carrying member of the Manny Machado fan club, that's probably the one spot when you miss, he's definitely going to make you pay. Like, and it's not a spot most people hit out. So I'm sure Shota's probably scratching his head too. Like, really? But he's a big time player in a big time moment. He's had some of those moments in his career or throughout his career, especially in postseason play. Sometimes the better pitcher meets the better hitter. It happens. But if I'm counseling the Cubs, I'm not defending leaving him out in that situation. I don't think that was worth defending.
You mean it was just such a foregone conclusion that they need to defend
what
it?
else are you gonna do? Seriously, we're trying to win.
Yeah. The argument was that the Cubs in game 1 used an opener so that the opener didn't have to face Machado and Tatis, and they could bring in a reliever. I don't know. Like,
that's over it.
That's
too complicated, man.
Again, I love analytics in baseball. I think in the postseason, you can throw the analytics out the window. On good. Who's going to win?
I think a lot of times we should throw analytics out the window in postseason baseball because, again, like pitch counts. Who's caring about you 100 pitches in October unless you're actually showing that you're tired? If you're still throwing 95 plus and you're telling me that you're fine and you're at least pitching in a way that you're not throwing a lot of balls, you're not walking a lot of people, hey, it's game 1, man. We are trying to win this game.
What's every single postseason game, you want to win that game. Yeah. Do not worry about that. This is how I approach it. You don't worry about the next game. You win this game. And I think sometimes managers start thinking ahead because fans think ahead, which is totally fine. But from a managerial perspective, you got to win this game, which is why I like what the Red Sox did last night.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
They wanted to. It was a game 2 win. You lost it 4-3, but it was right there for the taking. Heck, if Jazz Chisholm had been benched in game 2 like he was in game 1, the Red Sox probably win last night because that ball was a hard hit grounder right to the right of Chisholm where he makes a diving stop to keep the ball in the infield. It saves a run or 2 coming across. Like, that was a winnable game. So it's okay that you used Wilson, Slayton, Matz, Kelly, Whitlock, and Tolle. Like, it's okay that you kind of burned your bullpen a little bit after Bello had a tough start where he went 2 1/3, allowing 2 earned and not striking out a single player. You can burn your bullpen there because your focus last night and your focus, of course, tonight is to win the game. It's not to worry about what am I doing tomorrow night? What am I doing next Wednesday? It is, what am I doing right now in this instant so my team can win the game? And I think that's what Craig Counsell did last night. That's why I think this is newsworthy, and this is why I like him bringing up his confidence, that it was just plain and simple that he was confident in Shota. He thought he was throwing the ball really well, and unfortunately, he made a mistake, which is part of sports. It's good on good. Who's going to blink first? And in this case, Shota blinked first.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's that.
okay.
I think it's that simple there. I would always caution not overanalyzing things in the moment. My guy Davey Roberts down in LA has done that several times, and it's led to his demise.
Didn't last night. He kept his pitcher out there 114 pitches.
He has learned. It took a lot of failures, but he has learned. And I think some of the all-time great managers are the ones who stay out the way in those moments, right?
Yeah.
Like you get to your guy before people get to him and all, but you have to have a feel for the game and your guys. And if you go with your guy, then just accept that and move on. But you don't have to explain an ace or your top player getting an opportunity. Like Aaron Judge was like 0 for 25, and they never took him out of the spot in the lineup. And I'm like, you don't have to explain that. He's a freaking MVP. Yeah, work through it. But he's our
Figure it
guy.
out. Yeah, figure it out.
He's our guy, and he's going to figure it out, and we're going to back him till he figures it out. Because guess what? This is what God is here. Like you can't put him down at 7th and 8th, but so long he's the foundation of your lineup.
He's literally the foundation of your entire franchise.
Let's not get too crazy. With
You have an entire bleacher section called the judges' chambers.
Oh yeah, all rise, and people
All
literally
rise.
stand up.
All rise.
So yeah, I'm critical of Boone, but I'll defend him in that moment. And then as far as counsel goes, like you don't have to explain leaving Shota out there, man. That's ridiculous.
No, and it didn't work out for you in that game. You get another shot at it. That's the beauty of these 3-game series. You get another chance, and I mean, they just got to get their offense going. That is the key. We'll talk more about the game 3s that we have tonight in hour number 2, because we've got the Tigers Guardians starting things off at 3 p.m. Padres Cubs at 5 p.m. Red Sox Yankees tonight 8 p.m. as well. So we'll break down what we are expecting out of these game 3s, these win or go home matchups in the wild card series. Who's going to punch their ticket to the divisional series? We've got 2 spots still in the American League, 1 spot left to claim in the National League. So it's going to be a very fun day of baseball starting at 3 p.m. Also in hour number 2, we've got our Division I football power rankings here in the Commonwealth. I don't think much of a shakeup. I think it's pretty much the same as last week, but we still got to dive into why all of these teams are where they are. That's coming up at around 9:15. We've got a Thursday night football preview as well coming up as the Rams are 8.5-point favorites over the beaten, battered, banged up San Francisco 49ers, who will be without 4 wide receivers, their number 1 tight end, and their QB1. Tough night to be a San Francisco fan. Tough night.
Sounds like a typical game for us.
That's coming up in hour number 2 right here. Fitz the Bill. Keep it locked. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Digging for underground projects? Call 811 before you dig. Hitting underground lines can cost you time and money and threaten public safety. Call 811. Not only is it the smart thing to do, it's also the law, making you aware, keeping you safe. Richmond Gas Works Natural Gas Safety Awareness Program.
Driven by an unwavering passion for real estate, Wes Attia with Joyner Fine Properties consistently goes above and beyond for his clients. Wes is dedicated to ensuring that every step of your home selling or buying journey is met with unparalleled dedication, expertise, and a genuine commitment to exceeding your expectations. Wes is a proud sponsor and founder of the River City Tennis Open, supporting local charities benefiting RVA youths, and can be found at isellrichmondhomes.com.
Amber and Ian.
The New York Giants have made a change. They're going to go ahead and give the rookie a shot in Jackson Dart.
I would have liked to have been able to, and I think the Giants coaching staff would have liked to be able to sit him for maybe 2 or 3 more weeks.
Well, if they would have liked to have, then they should have, because they're the ones in control. They're the ones making this
Russell's
decision.
that bad.
But he's not that bad.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80. This is Freddie and Harry.
Herm Edwards, we are so glad to see you in studio, brother. How are you doing, brother Herm?
Well, thank you for inviting me back. It's good to be sitting in the seat. It's okay.
Yes.
Now let's see Harry's getting to do what Harry does. Harry is what we call Esquire.
Y'all sound like my mom and dad. Our middle child gonna do what our middle child does.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill on this Thursday, October 2nd morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your morning started with us right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the show over there, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live. You can be part of the stream by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And, of course, you can call or text into the show, as always, 804-327-0888. We are wide open in hour number 2. We want to hear from you on the phone lines and on the text lines. We've had some fantastic texts come in this morning, and I cannot talk on this Thursday. Alan, I woke up, I thought it was Wednesday. I've been thinking it's Wednesday all morning.
Yeah, I know it's not Wednesday because obviously my schedule's different. And
you've got the
coach's show.
Game.
No, I got the coach's show at noon.
It would be really bad if you thought it was Wednesday and you forgot to go to the coach's show.
I am so programmed to be based off of programming that I was like, all right, first thing first, coach's show, and then the Sam Houston game because I am curious about that game.
The Sam Houston game?
Yes.
The Sam
Houston versus New Mexico State. Yes. I'm deep diving.
Do you have money on that game?
I do. I'm deep diving today.
Okay. The 0-4 Sam Houston Bearcats against
I'm not with Sam Houston.
I know, but I'm setting the scene. The 2-2 New Mexico State.
No, I'm so curious about it.
What are you curious about? It's going to be a bad game.
It's going to be better than the NFL game. I'm not watching that.
Oh, I see. You want to get away from everything.
Absolutely. I'm looking for every distraction I can to get away from my.
We've got some great distractions. We got Red Sox Yankees tonight, right around kickoff of the Thursday night game. We've got 2 other game 3s. You've got stuff to keep you occupied.
I'll have all that on, but. Yeah, football is not going to. Professional football is not going to work tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what? Brock Purdy's out.
Like I said, you can't hurt me. I'm already on injured reserve.
I saw someone tweet out, who's the doctor that cleared Brock Purdy last week?
I don't know, but I said that too. I was like, why did he even play?
He was out with turf toe, comes back, and then is now out again with the same injury. What are we doing?
What was the point? And if you're gonna risk that, at least win the game.
Yeah, and if you're gonna risk it, at least just don't risk it. Like, what are you doing? And then Pearsall's out. Jawan Jennings is out. We'll talk about this game later on. But first, we do have to dive into some MLB because it is postseason baseball time. And look, I think we talked about this yesterday. Postseason is amazing in hockey and in baseball. The crowd pop last night when the Yankees won the game is why we love postseason baseball. The crowds are into it. It's a packed house. It's fun. It's exciting. Every pitch matters because let's face it, in game 92 of a 162 game season, the 5th pitch of the 4th inning does matter, but on a much more granular, minuscule scale. The 5th pitch of the 4th inning in a postseason game matters so much. And it makes every little thing so much better. And so tonight we get showdowns between the Tigers and the Guardians. Jack Flaherty going against, here's another pitcher. Cicconi, Cecconi, Cicconi. The Padres got Yu Darvish and Jamison Tyone going, and the Red Sox Yankees, they have Early and Schlittler.
Yes.
Woo!
That's right.
Going tonight as well. I am very excited for that Red Sox Yankees game. And
Man, the Darvish and Italian game is going to be interesting too, because you has his moments, man.
When Yu's on, Yu's a great pitcher.
Yeah, when Yu's on, he's one of the best.
When Yu's off,
yeah,
you can get a lot of hits off of him.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then Early and Schlittler is what I'm going to say. is
what's his first name? Carson?
Cam? Yeah.
Cam.
So for the record, these are two like basically rookie pitchers, and they're both really solid. So that, like, I'm not going to sleep on that matchup either. I think tonight is probably going to be more nerve-wracking than the last two games, because now you're literally trusting the rest of your season, if you're Boston and New York, with kids. And God forbid if one of them even looks remotely shaky, like, how could you not pull them, right? Like, these guys are not even like 24, 25, I don't think.
No, Early, mid-low product. He played his high school ball. James River.
Yeah, that's my friend's cousin, actually. I just thought about that. I need to call him and see if he can give me tickets.
He's 23.
Yeah.
The mid-low product,
They're
23.
kids, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying that because I'm laughing, because I'm thinking in my head, too, like everything I said about Boo, you know what? If the leash is short tonight, if it's 2 pitches and he doesn't look good, take him out.
Hey,
I can't even blame you, man.
You want the dub for Early. You want your dub for your friend's cousin.
You're trusting kids, man. That is tough.
It's scary, but Early this season, he's been solid. A 2.33 ERA, a 109 WHIP, which is always a really good number you like to see. The last 4 games he started, he's gone only less than 5 innings once. He's allowed 5 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. Good opportunity for him.
No, it's a great opportunity, being that, you know, the magnitude of this moment. And then it's funny because the storyline between Boston and New York, I didn't hear them talk about rivalry at all last night.
Is that rivalry dead?
No, it's definitely not dead. But the fact that the game just meant more than it just being part of the rivalry. It was like, no, we want to win because we want to win this game. It wasn't any mentions of Boone or the comeback by the Red Sox or any of that stuff. Like, they were just in the moment right there. And I appreciate that personally, because I think sometimes baseball spends too much time in the past,
glorifying the past.
Yeah, and it doesn't resonate with fans. Like, my son listened to the game with me last night. And I'm like, I'm glad you're not talking about a lot of things before he was born, because he would have walked away.
It is kind of funny that, like, the huge fight where the mitt was pushed into A-Rod's face and everything.
Yeah.
The one that
they had some classics.
I think that was before Early was born.
Probably.
I don't remember what year that was, but Early was born in 2002. Like, that's right around the time.
Right around that time, yeah.
So
that's even, maybe that's why they didn't bring it up. They didn't want to age themselves.
Both of these pitchers are just like, well, we don't even. This hasn't been like a crazy rivalry since then. Like, the rivalry has definitely cooled off between the Red Sox and the
it's
Yankees.
cooled off because baseball as a product isn't what it used to be on a national scene. But, like, to the fan bases, like, without a doubt, like, New York still hates Boston. Boston still hates New York. Like, that ain't never going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I said I don't think it's dead. But you're right. As far as crowd pop goes, man,
there's nothing better than
I could
big
feel
play.
every moment, every time the ball went off the bat and they thought it was going to be a scoring run for the Red Sox, but it was just foul.
Yeah, like the seventh inning, 2 outs, bases loaded, hit to deep center field. It was just like
the at bat with was it Story, I think.
Trevor, that one.
Yeah,
Trevor Story,
he fouled off like 4 or 5, and yeah, like, that was nerve-wracking. That was nerve-wracking for me.
Every time you hear the crack, and especially when you're listening on radio, you hear the crack of the bat, and you're like, uh-oh.
And I'm a bad. I can't be biased. I mean, unbiased. I turned on the game. I said I wouldn't root for a team,
and you started rooting for the Yankees.
No, absolutely never. Absolutely not. But when the Yankees went ahead, I did get mad at their jubilation, and I was like, I'm about to turn this crap off.
So you're rooting for the Red Sox?
I'm rooting for anybody to beat the Yankees when they're good. That's what I need. If they're not good, I don't get as much joy out of it.
Yeah, you're kicking them while they're down.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
you want to take them down.
My generation you have to hate the Yankees if you're not a Yankee fan. They've beaten so many teams, especially if like a Braves fan or any other team that's had NL success. Like usually during my lifetime, it was the Yankees that kept you from like winning the World Series.
See, for you, that's the case. For my generation, the Yankee hate really isn't there because they haven't really been a success story in the postseason in 20 years.
Yeah, not for you. Yeah, for sure. I don't even know who you would probably hate. Maybe the Astros?
Astros for the cheating scandal, Dodgers for pumping money into their roster.
Yeah.
But hey, game respect game. If I got the money, I'm going to go out there and use it and win too.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets tried it.
Mets tried it and it failed. So
Mets
clearly
still the Mets, man.
How do you go from being the best team in baseball to the worst team in baseball? That's a different story. That's an offseason.
I'm not trying to knock you, Dolphin Dave. Maybe you guys should consider changing your names. I think it's something with the name Mets that keeps you from being successful.
Mets, Jets, and Nets.
That's true.
Did you know why the Nets picked the Nets?
Why?
They wanted a basketball term that rhymed with the Mets and the Jets.
Oh, God.
And so they picked the Nets.
And they get their losing ways.
And they got their losing ways. And then they tried to get off of their losing ways by going to Brooklyn, and it just got worse. It got a lot worse, actually. Tigers Guardians are going to get the day going, 3 p.m. first pitch on that one. Tigers stranded 15 base runners yesterday.
That's typical.
That's
Tigers.
A playoff record for Detroit.
That's typical. Tigers are a team that if Moneyball was still a thing, they'd have to be a Moneyball team. You just got to hope that the situation is right and you got the right guy up at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, and they did not have that at all last night as they lost 6-1 to the Guardians in game 2. And the Tigers, no good, really bad, awful kind of final stretch of the season may end tonight as they've got to face off against the Guardians again in game 3. I mean, the Tigers at one point had the largest lead over the second place team in their division at any point. I think at one point it was like a 20-game lead pre-All-Star. It was an insane lead.
Yes.
And then the Guardians clawed all the way back, right? And then somehow the Detroit Tigers just fell on
it
their
was
face.
Textbook objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Best part about the AL Central, Tigers plus 67 run differential this season. Cleveland Guardians -6 run differential.
I was going to say the Guardians win ugly games and the Tigers play ugly games. That's why this series is probably going to go down to the very last pitch. But I trust AJ Hinch more than any manager left in this playoff, like just in general. Like AJ Hinch to me would be my top manager. I think if there's a guy that can get the most out of a team, and if it's a situation where it needs to be managed, like he's my guy. I trust him with the utmost. And if it doesn't work out, typically it's because the player just didn't perform. But AJ Hinch is going to put these guys in a position to be successful.
And he's got to tonight because winner go home, and Detroit plus 110, Cleveland minus 130. Tonight, this afternoon, 3 p.m. first pitch. Padres Cubs, the other game that's getting going. Padres are minus 105. The Cubs minus 115 at home. We said it earlier. Yu Darvish going for San Diego. Jameson Taillon going for the Chicago Cubs. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's got a little accent over there.
I don't know how to pronounce. I said Italian, but Taillon sounds right.
Taillon's a funny pitcher because I remember when he was with the Yankees, he stunk.
See, I remember him when he was with the Pirates, and he was pretty solid.
He's had
he had a surgery. I believe I think he might have had some form of cancer or something. But there was something that happened. He had to have a surgery, and they thought his career might be over. And he came back, and I think that's when he went to the Yankees and then ended up on the Cubs. But he's always been a pretty solid pitcher. But he was with I think he was a rookie when they had it was right after they had who's my guy for the Yankees, their main pitcher that hasn't pitched much this year, and then Glasnow. Like it was Glasnow and the other ace for the Yankees is hurt. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. So embarrassing. But he was part of that particular class where they had a good run of pitching. So it's got some pedigree.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he has a moment. It wouldn't be one of those like, where'd this come from? Like he's had some pretty good runs.
Yeah. You're trying to keep that run going here tonight. The Padres Cubs, and then we talk about Red Sox Yankees. Mid-low product early.
Also, Garrett Cole. That's why I'm drawing a blank. He hasn't pitched much this year.
Cole?
Yeah. When Cole was there. So that was part of their like young core of pitchers.
Man.
That was a long time ago. You were probably about like 12.
All right. No, I remember that. I remember that core with the Pirates.
Yeah.
The Pirates and the Marlins are both really good teams at drafting and then not getting anything in return for their draft picks.
I agree. Farm system teams.
Like the Marlins at one point had Christian Yelich at the time, Michael Stanton, Ozuna,
D. Gordon came through.
And who'd they get?
They had Bohr, I believe. Or no, Real Muto.
I believe I saw something the other day where all of the trade pieces they got back for their like big four, big three, or whatever it was during that era, none of them are still in the league.
Oh man, that is bad scouting, man.
Like,
wow.
How are you so good at scouting them in the draft, and then you just forget to continue scouting them when they're in the minors, and then when someone offers
Yelich and Giancarlo were legitimate MVPs.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Awful. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside, be back with our Division I Commonwealth Football Power Rankings Top 5. That's coming up on the other side, ESPN Richmond.
Previously on Clinton and Friends.
I would like to say mea culpa, personally, to Lions fans and anybody who considers themselves a Lions supporter. I was down on them. I thought that with the loss of both of their coordinators, that maybe that team wouldn't have the same mettle, never mind the same strategic advantage, but I was wrong.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Amber and Ian.
I think Jackson Dart is actually in a great situation if Brian Daboll's seat is not hot. If the coach feels confident in his job and in his job security, then he'll feel a lot more confident allowing Jackson Dart to sit and learn because he's got the time to do that. But if Brian Daboll doesn't have the time to do that, then we're going to see Jackson Dart maybe before we should.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80. Ben Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is your year if you're Buffalo. This is your year. The competition in the AFC in terms of number of great teams is less than it feels like it's been. You have to take advantage of it.
I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC, and every single team has major questions with the exception of the Buffalo Bills.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Freddie and Harry.
I'm speaking from experience. I've torn my ACL. It's a non-contact thing, playing basketball.
Here's what I do want people to understand about ACLs. First of all, I'm not a big fan of turf. Let me say that. But when I tore my ACL in 2009, Freddie, I studied how people tore the ACL. You'll be surprised that more people tear their ACLs just walking normally down the street.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From rush hour to Richmond Roar, Bob Black's voice is your sun-splashed co-pilot. Dive into all the stats, fiery takes, and the kind of energy that beats brake lights. Weekdays, 4 to 6 p.m., your drive's new favorite huddle.
History repeats itself. Try and you succeed. Never doubt that you'll be one. You can have your dream. All the best around. Nothing's going to keep you down. You're the best around.
Welcome back in Fitz the Bill on this Thursday, October 2nd morning. Before we dive into Division I football power rankings, someone did quote tweet the Shador Sanders stuff, where Shador refused to answer questions, but would still answer them by just mouthing his answers.
Yes.
That was weird. And someone quoted said, by the way, he just proved he'll get hated on for not even talking.
I know. I figured that's what people would say, but I also figure he was doing that because Rex Ryan told him to shut his mouth.
That's exactly why he was doing it.
So it is what it is. If he wants to be petty like that, so
man,
who cares? It's his life. I mean, in this case, he can't do any wrong. Like when he talks too much. When he doesn't talk, he's being petty.
Well,
who cares, man? I just care about him getting on the field, and he's not getting on the field. Why are you even asking him questions?
Because it's Shador Sanders and it's driving conversation. And he will get hated on even when he is not talking. But man, that was a wild thing to see yesterday.
And the questions were extremely leading, so he was right not to answer them.
Well, he did answer them, but he would have been right just to not answer it altogether. But I won't hate on him too much. I won't hate on him.
No, that's what I would have said. No comment.
No, exactly. No comment. Next question. I'm here so I don't get fined.
Do some sit-ups.
Pull a Marshawn Lynch. Pull a T.O. in his driveway. Oh man, what a time. We need to bring that back.
I miss those Eagles. You're right.
Hey,
For real.
T.O. wore his heart on his sleeve. T.O. told you he was crying at the podium saying, "That's my quarter." I guess that was the Cowboys.
That was the Cowboys.
That was Cowboys.
Yeah,
T.O.
don't pull a go who's in Blacksburg. Don't do that.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I was there Friday night. Go. No. Where was I going on that one? Oh, we need wide receivers like that again. We need wide receivers who are going to call their own press conference doing sit-ups in their driveway. We don't need A.J. Brown doing cryptic tweets anymore. We need wide receivers who are going to tell it like it is.
I'm not even addressing the A.J. Brown thing. I'm glad you put it in your update and everything and didn't ask me about it because I already told you, man.
My favorite part, I don't know if it was a direct quote because it was just written out and they didn't quote it, but I imagine it was said at one point, but it was just like, the tweets weren't directed at anyone inside the building, including Jalen Hurts. And it's like, I didn't think it was directed at Jalen Hurts until I read that you said it's including it was not directed at Jalen Hurts. Feels like it may have been directed at Jalen Hurts. Feels like I wasn't curious until now. Feels like we dug ourselves a bigger hole.
Jalen Hurts is approachable, man. Like, you ain't got to sub him. Just talk to him.
Is he approachable?
I'm pretty sure he's approachable. His locker's not too far from you. And again, look at his offensive line. You're not touching him, even if you're mad at him. So all you go do is talk to him. So just talk to him. Have you seen Mulata? I know A.J. Brown's a bad man, but he ain't that bad.
Lane Johnson, too.
Yeah, exactly. Who's touching him in that locker room?
The balder the head, the badder you are.
Nobody. You can have a conversation with them. So if you got a grievance, again, use your words. It's your best bet.
You're not wrong. All right, our D1 football Commonwealth Power Rankings. You ready for number 5?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Liberty.
Oh, what? Is it because we only have 5 teams?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm just doing the top 5.
I know I'm being sarcastic. They have been... I don't even know how to say it. I can't put into words how bad it's been.
If Richmond had a better win than their 13-12 win over Howard, Richmond would have been 5.
I'm cool with that. Liberty has been very disappointing.
1-4. They've lost back-to-back Commonwealth games against JMU and ODU, and they look downright bad, and that is a disgrace because Jamie Chadwell, his numbers aren't public because they are a private university, but all the reports say he is the highest paid G6 coach in the nation. He makes well over $1 million. They had the largest budget to pay for players to bring them in through the NIL market, and they still have fallen on their face. 1-4, and it's bad looks over there in Lynchburg. Bad looks. So they're number 5. They are at risk of falling out, depending on how Richmond does this weekend against Bucknell. Number 4, the 2-3 Hokies. After beginning the season 0-3, you fire Brent Pry. You bring in, or I guess promote, Phil Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, interim head coach. He's won back-to-back games. One of those games was against Wofford. However, he did something Brent Pry struggled to do his entire time with the Virginia Tech Hokies, and that's win a close game. Congratulations to Phil Montgomery for winning that game.
The bar isn't high, and I'm happy that
the bar is the ground.
Yeah, he's got the team moving in the right direction. I don't question the effort in the last 2 games, and that's
not at all.
A plus.
And that's a big plus.
And who knows, man? Maybe Montgomery's trying to get him a head coaching position.
Hey, maybe he used to be the head coach at Tulsa, got fired from there, and this is an opportunity for him to kind of flex his muscle a little bit. And he's got another great opportunity at home against Wake Forest. Like, you could blink and all of a sudden this Virginia Tech team could be 2-0 in conference play and 3-3. I mean, Wake this season has not played a road game. They were home against Kennesaw State, home against Western Carolina, home against NC State, home against Georgia Tech. And this is their first true road game going into a revitalized, re-energized Lane Stadium after winning back-to-back games. Look, Virginia Tech is favored in this game for good reason. They're probably not a 6.5 point favorite, but they're probably not that good, but they're 6.5 point favorites in this game. Virginia Tech wins this game. All of a sudden, their season feels completely different than where it was 3 weeks ago.
What time is the game?
1 p.m. on the CW.
Oh, darn, I wish it was a night game because Bob, they blow them out in a night game. But at 1 p.m. I think the Hokies are. I'm so low on Wake Forest as a football program.
Yes.
So I think even with a substitute interim coach and all the dysfunction that the Hokies have had, they've got enough momentum. I think they should roll Wake Forest.
Plus, Wake Forest is coming off of kind of disappointing loss to Georgia Tech.
They gave their best shot against Georgia Tech.
Yep. So for Virginia Tech, you could blink and all of a sudden the Hokies could be 3-3, 2-0 in conference play, getting set for a showdown against Georgia Tech.
Somebody get that Undertaker meme where he's just popping up out the coffin.
Get it ready. Put Virginia Tech's logo on his face.
They're
Get it
not
ready.
dead yet.
They're not dead yet. Number 3 is JMU. The defense has been electric, arguably the best unit in the G6. Their defense has been shutting down opponents. Outside of one Isaac Brown huge run and another big catch, there's 2 very explosive plays against Louisville. And of course, you can't just throw those out and be like, well, if you didn't let up those 2 huge plays, they're actually really, really, really good. But even with those plays accounted for, JMU's defense has been fantastic. Colin Hitchler, their defensive coordinator, has stepped in, has kind of tweaked a couple of things, and has made them better than what they were last year. Their rushing attack has been excellent, coming off of a game where they had 2 rushers go over 130 yards, Wayne Knight and Jordan Fuller. The reason why they are number 3 is the offense as a whole still has a lot of question marks surrounding it, because the passing game has been a work in progress since the Ball State game last season. The passing game has only gone over 200 yards once this season. The passing game dating back to last year has only gone over 200 yards twice. Like the November of last year, I should say, has only gone over 200 yards twice. The passing game is a huge question mark. And with tests on your schedule like Old Dominion and like Texas State, then all of a sudden you're looking at that passing game is going to be tested quite a lot in those 2 games. I just don't know if JMU's passing attack will give them the necessary boost to take down an ODU and or a Texas State.
So I would put JMU as number 3 for the simple fact the 2 teams that we're going to have in front of them, I'm presuming, would be UVA,
Richmond and William and Mary.
Those 2 too. But
State and Union.
Yeah, it would be 2 teams that have splash wins, right?
Yes.
Like, JMU doesn't have a splash win. They had their moment going against Louisville. They lost by 14. They'll have another opportunity for a splash win on October 18th. And the positive here is that of the teams that they have beat, they've beat them like I would have expected them to beat them. Yeah. Like there hasn't been any real struggles.
No.
None of the stuff I saw last year where I was like, what's going on for a half and things like that. Like, I just feel like it's been pretty consistent. Offense has been consistent. Defense has been consistent. So that's good enough to win the Sun Belt if they keep that up. And then also, again, like I said, on the 18th, they'll have their opportunity to make their splash win.
18th, and then 10 days later, they've got another opportunity against Texas State on that Tuesday night game. Like they've got 2 more great opportunities for some splash wins against arguably the best or second best team in the East and arguably the best team in the West. So the schedule lines up well for JMU to throw down a couple of exclamation points. But through their first 4 games, they are the 3rd best team in the Commonwealth. Number 2, it's Old Dominion. Like you said, they have the splash win. Not only did they beat Virginia Tech, folks, they got their coach fired. Like, shouts out to that. You didn't just beat an ACC squad. You beat them so bad, you embarrassed them at their place, that within 24 hours, they fired their dang head coach.
Sometimes when you win, you really lose. Imagine beating them so bad that they fired their coach and you made them better.
I mean, all signs point to that. You beat them so bad, they fired their coach. It has now gotten them, assuming they win on Saturday,
so
to be 2-0 in the ACC.
If Virginia Tech ever gets back on track, will we say ODU gave them the bump?
Also, would we say, does that win then have more juice to it? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Like,
it's kind of funny.
Let's say we're in this other world where Virginia Tech somehow drops 1 or 2 conference games and they're sitting there and they're bowl eligible and they're like top half of the ACC. Would we be like, what a great win for ODU? Or would we look at it and be like, what a bad win for ODU that got Virginia Tech to fire the coach?
If Virginia Tech becomes bowl eligible because they made that coaching switch after ODU beat them, ODU needs a Christmas card. You got to send them a Christmas card.
Yeah.
They helped you out.
Yeah, you got to send them a little NIL check. Hey,
I mean, they technically did pay them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But ODU, I do want to shout out Colton Joseph real quick, their quarterback, because coming into the season, I was really high on Colton Joseph. And I think something Alan and I both said was if he can cut down on his turnovers, the ODU offense is going to take a major leap. And we've seen that. Colton Joseph has improved on turning the ball over this season. He's thrown for 8 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 4 touchdowns, with only 4 interceptions. He's the 4th highest graded quarterback in the group of 5, according to PFF. 900 passing yards, 67.4% completion percentage, and 10% of his throws are what PFF qualify as big-time throws, which is a throw that travels 20 air yards or more and is completed when it had an expected completion percentage of less than about 25%. So, as the name indicates, they are big-time throws that come in big-time moments that help swing a game into ODU's favor. 10% of his throws are that. And just 2.8% of his throws this season have been what PFF deems a turnover-worthy play. So that is a play that is probably an interception, but even if it's a dropped interception, they grade it as a pass that probably should have been a turnover. And when you have 10% of your throws being big-time throws and less than 3% of your throws being turnover-worthy, that is a sweet spot that you love living in, and that's the sweet spot that Colton Joseph is playing in as the 4th highest graded group of 5 quarterback this season. He's the 7th highest graded group of 5 running quarter. That was tough to read. 7th highest graded group of 5 quarterback in run grade. So he's one of the more efficient and better running quarterbacks as well. 395 yards on the ground. I mean, the play of Colton Joseph is why ODU is 3-1 this season.
Yeah, they come and go as he goes because, again, he's not turning the ball over. Efficiency is probably one of the more underrated qualities a quarterback can bring to a team. And sometimes less is more, and that's what he's showing.
He is so good. That JMU ODU game on October 18th is going to be popcorn. It's going to be must-see TV, Electric City. I can't wait for it. Number 1, you guessed it, the University of Virginia. Who would have thought that they would be number 1 in our D1 power rankings? Kind of insane, but that win over Florida State, massive. You can't undersell that game. A wonderful performance. Chandler Morris, you got to clean up the turnovers a little bit, but hey, they didn't come back to bite you in that win over Florida State. Now you've got another test. How do you get back up for this Louisville team that, survived a scare against Pitt? They probably aren't as good as we may have thought, unless they use that Pitt game as kind of a jump starter for their season. But a little slow at times. Miller Moss has been struggling, specifically struggled early on against Pitt, but then the whole Louisville team kind of found their rhythm as the game went on, and they ended up pulling out the win. But it's a big test at their place on Saturday. UVA is the number 1 team. You can't argue with that. There's literally no way to argue that they aren't the best team in the Commonwealth right here, right now. No way you can argue that.
Yeah, I wouldn't try. I think, again, the way they beat Florida State, the trench play, I know Espo had called and talked about that. The trench play was key.
Yeah.
And I think that's what would separate them if they play, the teams in the Commonwealth. But they've got the splash win. They beat a top 10 team just a week ago. So hopefully they follow it up with another win against Louisville. They don't give that one away. But I think they're well on their way to making a bowl, and that's a big boost for this program.
It feels like you got to be kicking yourself now with that NC State loss earlier in the season. It wasn't an ACC game. It was that weird non-ACC game that was against an ACC opponent, but that's besides the point. You got to feel like you're kicking yourself, though, a little bit, because you could be 5-0 and be ranked even higher at this point in the season. But you get the win over Florida State. You're feeling nice at 4-1. Can you back it up with the win this Saturday? But the trench play, that trench play is the best trench play Tony Elliott has had since he took over as the coach for UVA. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger than every other unit that he has coached. They bolstered it through the transfer portal. They've been able to withstand a couple of key injuries to some key guys because of the depth that they were able to bring in through the transfer portal. And that's why they beat Florida State, and that's why I have them beating Louisville again this Saturday. I think this is a UVA team that is not your grandpa's UVA team. It's not your dad's UVA team. Heck, it's not the UVA team that I grew up knowing. This is a legit UVA team that is on an ACC championship type of path. I am all in on the Cavaliers. Wahoo wah, baby.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'm happy to see them have a capable and competitive football team, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them in a bowl game. And I keep saying it and going back to the bowl thing because I really would like to see them in the Duke's Mayo Bowl because I saw Virginia Tech last year, And I know the ACC usually sticks a team down there. It'd be nice to get them regionally to see how the fans show up.
Man, that'd be a fun game. We'll head down there. We'd blow it out. We go hang out in Charlotte, get some good barbecue, enjoy some mayonnaise.
I don't know about the mayonnaise part. I don't mind it. Thankfully, they didn't do a full mayo spread. They didn't do that. Thankfully.
I'm a big mayo guy. I love Duke's mayo too. It is the number one mayonnaise out there. Not sponsored, but I love Duke's mayo.
I mean, mayonnaise is definitely a preference. Some people like Hellman. Some people like Duke's.
And if you think Miracle Whip is a substitute for mayonnaise, stop. Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise.
It's not.
It's not mayonnaise, but
it's Miracle Whip.
Hellman's is good. I get it. Hellman's is fine, but Duke's mayo it's got that twang. It's got that twang. I'm a big Duke's guy. That is numero uno. We got a texter say, my dad's UVA team was very respected that performed year after year and put out NFL players, but I get your point. You knew what I was saying. I get it. UVA had that run of being good for what? A couple years?
No, I mean, I remember, my cousin went to UVA, played linebacker there and stuff. So, I mean, it was, they did put players in the league and whatnot, but I don't think they were respected as a program. I think the Welsh years, and that was probably, like, his peak was probably before I was born, but
Welsh years were very good.
In my childhood and teenage years, Virginia Tech had more of a national presence than UVA. And it kind of stayed that way for quite some time. And I think even here in the Commonwealth, I think Virginia Tech football has always been the blue blood, air quotes, of football in the state of Virginia. And UVA has always been kind of an afterthought. And then basketball, it flips the other way around. UVA basketball is the blue blood, air quotes, of Virginia basketball. And then Virginia Tech basketball is an afterthought. But again,
George Welsh years, I'll give the texter that the George Welsh years have been
he had
phenomenal.
a national championship and everything.
And then was ranked number 1 at one point. Very good stuff. So,
like, again, before my lifetime, but I know of it, and I'm not disrespecting it by any means. So
but just overall, my point was overall UVA not a traditional power. Considering
we could take a poll in the state, and you would probably find that a lot of people view Virginia Tech football in a higher regard, and some of that's the hoopla with Michael Vick, and then they did go to the national championship and all that stuff. Some of it's branding, some of it's just how the universities approach the programs and whatnot. So it is what it is. But in the year of our Lord 2025, Virginia is in a better position as a football program than the Hokies.
Yes, and this isn't. I'll leave it out. This isn't your grandfather's UVA team, because I imagine your dad probably grew up in the 80s or 90s. I'm talking to this texter, maybe the 80s. I don't know his age, but let's say your father's UVA was good. George Welsh, it was good. Your grandfather's UVA, not good. Your UVA that you know of the 2000s, of the 2010s on has been but they have been. This is a new UVA team. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll step aside. Be back with more right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-454-4558. That's 800-454-4558. 800-454-4558.
World Class Courts is proud to be a featured sponsor of the 2025 River City Tennis Open, October 3rd to 5th at the University of Richmond West Hampton Courts. We specialize in providing everything you need for any type of tennis court, whether it's clay, hard, or hybrid surfaces. As a manufacturer and supplier, World Class Courts offers surfaces and equipment for every kind of tennis court. We invite you to come and see our recent resurfacing work at the University of Richmond. For more information, visit us online at worldclasscourts.com.
1061 ESPN. Catch Border to Border with Matt Josephs. Statewide sports debates, unfiltered takes, and no-nonsense analysis. Tune in daily and join the conversation.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Thursday, October 2nd morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside as we go from talking college football to talking NFL. Rams play host to the 49ers, the beaten up, the battered, the injured San Francisco 49ers, who will be without Brock Purdy. They will be without Jawan Jennings. They will be without Ricky Pearsall. They will be without George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk as well, as they still have not returned back from their injuries. Ayuk's injury was suffered last season as he's still working back from that. George Kittle suffered a hamstring injury in week 1, something like that. And he has still not returned. So the Rams are 8.5-point favorites tonight against the San Francisco 49ers. And the Rams have been one of the best teams in the NFL this season. The Rams very well probably should be 4-0 this season, but they let one get away against who else but the Philadelphia Eagles. They held the Eagles to -1 net passing yards in the first half, and then the Eagles erupted for over 200 yards passing in the second half. That was back in week 3, handed them their first loss. And what did the Rams do? They bounced back with an impressive come-from-behind win against the Colts on Sunday, and now they're back home, back in action as an 8.5-point favorite against the San Francisco 49ers. Defense has been the calling card for Los Angeles this season. They're 4th in EPA allowed per play, so they are slowing down offenses at one of the best clips in the NFL, and their offense, nothing to sneeze at either. But the 49ers are going to have their hands full. San Francisco started the year 3-0, dropped a tough one last time out, 26-21 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, as the Jaguars tried to almost hand that game away. But just as quickly as they were 3-0, they could be staring at 3-2 or even 3-3 in a hurry if they can't find a rhythm and if they have Brock Purdy missing any more extended amounts of time. As a 49ers fan, are you just turning this game off, not even giving it the time of day?
No, I'll have it on. I'll watch. I mean, I'm a football fan first. Mac Jones is a capable backup. He's got starter experience. We don't even have to eval that. So it's not like they're just throwing out some random practice squad QB.
True.
And I'm sure they'll be competitive. Kyle should know McVay and his system. Defensively, we're without Bosa, but that's pretty much our biggest loss. It's a heavy loss, but
it's a heavy loss.
I think we should still compete, right? And give ourselves a chance to win. That's what I would expect. I'll be looking closely to see who's trying, who's not. Because if they're not trying, they're going to get blown out. But if they try, I think they can keep it within the number.
They keep it close.
Divisional games sometimes are more about emotion, especially on the short week, more about emotions than anything else.
Yeah, and the short week also favors the home team. And we've seen it where, these short weeks, these Thursday night games, typically it's a close, weird game.
Well, Stafford's in quarterback years 100 years old. Who knows? Maybe he's still recovering from his game on Sunday.
Goodness gracious. He might be. This dude he's got the back of an 89-year-old.
Yeah.
He was getting not cortisone, epidurals.
Yeah.
He had his own cryogenic chamber parked in the parking lot at training camp so he could heal quicker.
But he's still a really good quarterback.
Still
throw that thing.
Whoo, he lights that thing on fire. He's looking good. And then, by the way, they've just got one of the best defenses in the NFL too.
Devontae Adams has been really good for them too.
Yeah. Devontae Adams has been really good.
Not that I'm surprised, but it's we talk about Puka Nacua, but we don't talk about the other guys, and Devontae and the running back or
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, Kyron. They're balling, man.
Yeah, that's a good offense. It's a good team.
They're a dangerous team. They're a dangerous team.
Coming into the year, they were a dark horse pick of mine to make a lot of noise in the NFC because they were the only team last year that really put up any resistance to the Philadelphia Eagles.
See, I was on them being a dark horse last year. My expectation this year was that they would not surprise people, but it seems like they're still surprising people.
Well, because they came into the year with a couple massive injuries along their offensive line.
That's how they started last year.
Yeah, that's true. But then, honestly, this season for the Rams feels like a copy and paste from last season.
Yeah.
Because last season was, man, Matthew Stafford, he might be done.
Yeah.
They don't got an offensive line.
I mean, Stafford and McVay have been rumored to be done since they
Yeah.
won that Super Bowl, and they still keep popping up. And quietly as it's kept, the Rams have been probably the best drafting team, not talked about, honestly. Because, I mean, we give Howie and all those guys credit over in Philly. But if you look at Verse and some of these other people that they've picked up over the last couple drafts, they've come in and made instant impacts for this organization. So.
Yes. I mean, you look at the two best defensive players that they have right now are their two edge rushers. Jared Verse, a draft pick of theirs. Byron Young, a 2023 draft pick of theirs. Poona Ford has played well. Cam Curl has played well. Kobe Durant was one of their draft picks. Quentin Lake, Kobe Turner were their draft picks. They've not only hit on draft picks really well, but they've also hit on like a couple, not big, but a couple free agent signings as well to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, Puka was 2023 draft pick too. And imagine you draft a guy where you drafted Puka Nacua and he ends up replacing a Super Bowl MVP, right? Didn't Kupp get the MVP, or was he?
Yeah, it was Kupp.
Yeah,
he replaces him. He expedited their Cooper Kupp play.
Yeah,
like Cooper.
That's
Kupp,
how good they've drafted.
If Puka Nacua wasn't around, Cooper Kupp would still be on the Rams.
Yeah.
But even more so, going back to the copy and paste of last year. Oh, Stafford's going to be hurt. I don't know if he can play. The offensive line's beat up. Oh, they've got an aging wide receiver. I don't know if Puka Nacua can do it again. And then coming into this year, it was all of the same things except the old aging wide receiver. It's no longer Cooper Kupp. It's Devontae Adams. And what has Devontae Adams gone out there and done? He is just balled out at wide receiver. He's their second highest rated wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like the 49ers are going to have their hands full tonight. And I think I'm going to go with the 49ers to cover that 8.5 point spread, because that just seems like a lot, especially on a short week, especially with the fact that it's over that key number of 7. But the Rams do have so much at their disposal where they have thoroughly impressed this season. They're throwing the ball well, they're running the ball fairly well, but with the way that they're able to pass the football, it's nice. I mean, Kyron Williams, though, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 303 yards this season, does have that one fumble, but does have a touchdown as well. Man, I love looking at the different stats, right? Because you got Kyron Williams, who has a pretty good offensive line in front of him, 303 yards, 194 of those have come after contact. You then, not to keep throwing on Ashton Genty or anything, but then you look at Ashton Genty, and he has more yards after contact than he does total yards.
Yeah, all my life I had to fight Ashton Genty. That's what he's been going through right now.
And hey, they let him go back into his Michael Myers stance, and guess what happened? Good things.
I really don't think the stance mattered, but I mean comfort. But
comfort.
I'd be shocked if that was the difference in him being able to get positive yardage.
I think it's more so. I think it is more so just the comfort part of it, where I think he could now. He was probably thinking too much when he was in the other stance.
Yeah,
like
it's
different.
Yeah,
it's different. He's been doing the Michael Myers stance since his junior year at Boise State. He said he started doing it because it just feels more comfortable, and so it started to work out for him.
I'd be surprised if McVay doesn't sweep the leg tonight on Kyle Shanahan. I would if I was him, but I know they got a good friendship and all that stuff. But it's always funny to watch when the people from that particular tree match up against each other, because it's almost like a mirror match. Like, especially when they get out of the script, they're all thinking the same things, and they all have their different variances. Like, I think McDaniels is a better ground game designer than McVay, and I think O'Connell and McVay are better pass designers than McDaniels and Kyle. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. Even if there are a lot of people missing on the Niners side, and it'll be competitive at least for a half.
But man,
hopefully,
the 49ers, they can't. So many injuries, man.
But it's been like that for the last 4 years.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, what are they doing over there in San Francisco?
I don't know. I mean, they dealt with this during Harbaugh's time, right? Like, there was some key injuries during his time.
There must be something in the water over there in Santa Clara, not even in San Francisco. That might be the issue, right?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea how we can stay healthy. I really wish I could see my team stay healthy.
Yeah. You can
in baseball and football.
Keep wishing on a star. Hey, but you get a new manager. Brian Snicker, no longer the manager of the Braves.
You need a trainer.
All right, let's get our last break in here. We'll step aside. Be back to wrap up this Thursday edition of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is a RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-454-4558. That's 800-454-4558. 800-454-4558.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Wes Etia and Joyner Fine Properties presents the River City Tennis Open October 3rd through 5th at the University of Richmond Westham facility. For more information, visit rivercitytennisopen.com.
Wrap up your workday with Matt Josephs and Bob Black from 3 until 6 p.m. Live interviews, breaking news, and real talk about Richmond sports. Your business can be part of the conversation. Own the afternoon on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. Call 804-330-5700 or email espnrba@summitmediacorp.com.
1061 ESPN in your pocket. Download the app for on-demand shows, live updates, podcasts, and sports takes hotter than a game-winning drive. Your team, your way. Get it now.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Thursday, October 2nd morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Allen alongside here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, live from the Ortho Virginia studios, capital of the Commonwealth. We got some good high school football coming up this weekend, man. We got some great high school football. We'll be tentatively scheduled to be out at the Huguenot LC Bird game at Huguenot as they host LC Bird. But there's another pretty large game happening at the same time. I'm excited to get out there and see Charles Scott Jr. on full display because he has been tearing it up this season for Huguenot. A couple games over 400 passing yards. He's been the real deal as the quarterback for Huguenot this season. So very excited to see that. Another game I'll be keeping my eye on is the Meadowbrook-Thomas Dale game, Allen, because both teams 4-0. First time that they have ever met with both teams 4-0. Thomas Dale comes in. That defense has been exceptional. They've only allowed, I think, 2 touchdowns. One of them was an offensive score. Like, they have been really, really solid. They're coming off of a 35-7 win against Prince George. And that offensive Thomas Dale, though, is going to have its hands full against a Meadowbrook defense that has allowed 14 points, 13 points, and looking to kind of go back to what they did the first 2 weeks of the season, which was allow 0 points. So Meadowbrook playing host to Thomas Dale this Friday night. Another great game here in the 804.
Yeah, Thomas Dale calls their defense the Dark Zone. Yeah. It's an awesome nickname.
The Dark Zone.
You know, we haven't gotten a chance to see Meadowbrook. My friend coaches for Meadowbrook, so I hope they do well. But having seen Thomas Dale in person and up close, man, they got some guys in their trenches. Yeah, 44 is a dude, man. So it'll be a tough task. I'm looking for a good game, and I believe our guys, Thomas Jefferson, are traveling to Lynchburg to take on Heritage, which is one of the top teams in the state. Yeah, I think they're at least a top 10 team in the state.
And Highland Springs is traveling over to Phoebus for a game tonight.
Oh, please, Highland Springs. If you can hear me, Highland Springs, we need this.
Hey, based off our conversation with Ball in VA last week, 804 needs that win.
Sick of these dudes, man.
Especially with Morey coming to Verina and questionable call. That was a questionable call.
Phoebus again.
Like, hey,
They're always there.
They gotta. It's tonight. That game is tonight. A Thursday night game in the 757.
A Thursday night game in the 757. They set them up.
Is that a big time night in 757?
No, I'm just saying it's just one of those strange nights.
Yeah, it's a strange night. So a couple
Thursday night. In high school football is like the Friday night. In college football, it's a setup for the visiting team.
Yeah,
it's always a setup.
It's a setup. I get that. Also, Verina is on the road at Grimsley, which is a powerhouse team out of the, I believe, Greensboro area, Durham area in North Carolina. Bro, Alonzo Barnett, the quarterback of JMU, went to Grimsley, the Whirlies. Then after Alonzo left, I think they had the number one. I knew he was the number one quarterback in North Carolina, maybe the number one quarterback in the nation, who played 2 years for it. Like they have been just a constant, just chugging out fantastic players.
That's interesting.
And so Verina's like, you know what we're gonna do this season, and it's what Highland Springs did too. It's what a lot of the top teams in the area do. We are going to test ourselves early and often before we get into region play.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a big proponent for these teams to get out, test yourself, take your lumps early, see what you got in players, and then take that momentum and build it up once you come back locally and go into your state tournament play. So it's I think it's a good strategy. I know a lot of people look at wins and losses, but sharpening iron is probably the way to go, because if you're not tested before you get into the regions and things like that, you're going to find that the ones who are tested will be the ones that can overcome those situations.
Yeah.
Because it happens. Like the state football is not easy, man. Like when you're in the playoff portion of it, it's not easy at all.
And we've got a couple other games coming out this week or on Friday night. Thomas Jefferson, you said at Heritage, Freeman, J.R. Tucker, Elsie Bird at Huguenot. Hopefully we can make it out to that one. Hanover at Patrick Henry, Deep Run at Glen Allen, Henrico at Armstrong. Did I already say that one? A lot of games. Petersburg at Matoaka. But Thomasdale Meadowbrook might be the game of the week. Where I'll be keeping an eye on my Twitter to see how that game unfolds, because one of the teams will be coming out still undefeated with a very impressive win over a very, very good opponent. So should be fun stuff in high school football world. Tomorrow we will be live out at Green Top tomorrow morning. We are super, super excited for that one as they get set for their outdoor expo. If you missed any of our ticket giveaways on Tuesday, Wednesday, or today, don't worry. You'll have 2 more chances to win a pair of VIP tickets to the Green Top Outdoor Expo VIP tent. Because as a reminder, the Outdoor Expo up at Green Top in Ashland is 100% completely free to attend. It's Saturday, it's Sunday. There's things to do for the entire family. There's a kids zone, there's a scavenger hunt, the ultimate air dogs, the famous truckload sale. It's all free. However, if you want a little bit of an elevated experience, you'll want to win these VIP tent tickets, and you can only win them right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Between 8 and 9 a.m., we'll be giving away 1 pair of tickets. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be giving away another pair of tickets. So if you weren't able to win on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, you have 2 chances to win tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. Set your alarm now. Set your alarm now for 8 a.m. for when the show starts so you don't miss out on either opportunity. Get your chances in, because we are giving away a pair of VIP tent tickets for Sunday. The event itself completely free up at Green Top in Ashland, but for a little bit of an elevated experience, we've got 2 pairs of VIP tent tickets for Sunday. You do not want to miss that. And also looking forward to being out at the Elsie Bird at Huguenot game, as Huguenot's offense has been rolling. Last couple of games, they've scored over 50 points. 40 would be underselling it. They've scored over 50 points. Charles Scott Jr., the quarterback for Huguenot, was our student athlete of the week a couple of weeks ago. We are pumped to get out there and see him live and see what he's able to do against an LC Bird defense that's found a rhythm as of late, winning their last 3 to bring a 3-2 record into the showdown against a one-loss Huguenot squad that, after dropping their season opening game against St. Christopher's, has rattled off a couple impressive wins since then. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in on what was a really fun Thursday show of Fitz the Bill. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, Pat Jaggers is scheduled to join with us in the second hour tomorrow. We've got some other guys joining us as well. Should be a really fun Friday show. You do not want to miss it. Same time, same place, as we are live out at Green Top. We're giving away 2 pairs of Green Top VIP tent tickets for their outdoor expo this weekend. For Alan, I've been Jack. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere, because we are where Richmond talks sports. Clinton and Friends up next. Rich Eisen show starting a little later than normal because we got the coaches show from noon until 1 out at Bar West. Bob Black gets lunch with Coach Russ Huesman as they talk about the week that was and the week ahead. Don't want to miss that. That's from 12 to 1. Then the Rich Eisen show. And then a little bit of a shakeup is Matt Josephs is off today. Are you filling in for him, Alan?
I am not. I'm just doing the mashup hour.
Just the mashup hour with Bob. So that's starting at 4. From 4 to 5, the mashup hour. Then 5 to 6, the sports huddle with Bob Black. Right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.